Hi there. Welcome to Checkmate Fusions, one of many regional wins. Little quick video for you. I'm Ginger Fusion, or Robbie, and this is just a quick oldie, I guess, before we get a whole new set and a whole new format. I got pretty lucky today with pairings. There's no question about it. So, although I'm super excited to win, 100%. Felt great, but I played people like Zamasu, Brawly Control, and Red Vegeta, and my type of deck has a great win rate into those decks. I'd say probably one of the best. You couldn't ask for better matches. The finals, I played against the blue deck, who was apparently aggressive and wasn't being very aggressive. So like it just kind of went my way. But that being said, still pretty cool leader. I was playing Son Goku face off with the Great Demon King. This is his awakened side. Really, the only part that matters is two effects. Number one, you can play a skill list for free from your Z deck every turn. This lets you build in just card advantage if you don't want to attack. There's certain decks like Brawly currently that make it really, advantageous not to attack or not do a lot. And so you can just kind of build up a board and wait till it's time to kill someone. That really helps. But the other effect is that on either player's turn, which is a big deal, when you play any battle card that has exactly 30k power, one of your opponent's battle cards gets negative 15k. This is why the Red Vegeta matchup is so easy now, because they don't have a way to get rid of your blocker barriers, and using this skill and a combination of what we're going to talk about today, and this is like the bread and butter of the deck now. You're really just trying to play this card defensively, and you're trying to take advantage of its abilities. It has two abilities. First of all, you get to get out of an attack. You do that by comboing two cards from your hand. One has to be a 17 and one has to be a Hellfighter. When you do that, you get to summon this big boy. Whenever you summon him, you draw a card. So if you think about it, you use up two cards when you combo, but then you get to play this guy. Well, because he's a 30k, your leader procs, which means we get to give a card on my opponent's side negative 15k. That's very, very relevant because most cards right now are about 25k. I'd say 25k is the standard. So if your opponent combos a few cards and you don't want to take the damage, you can combo two cards and play this bad boy, and your opponent's in a little bit of trouble. What makes it even better is he comes with blocker built in. And he'll have this other ability, and we try to use all the abilities in one turn. So then they'll swing with another card, you just go ahead and block. If they try to kill that card, like they might try to combo, they might try to use an effect, you can then pay one, place an android from your Z energy underneath this card. When you do that, the card restands, you draw a card, and more importantly, you get to give another card negative 20k. This is huge because now we're turning 2 energy into 2 draw, which may not sound like a ton, but we're getting out of attacks. We're staying alive. We're building up a board state. But the part that made this deck win was really the creativity we had last minute, which I was pretty excited about. It was this bad boy. You're going to see him as a 2 of. I say a 3 might be necessary, but 2 was fine because I wasn't being too aggressive with it. It's just an Android 17. So that's one of the requirements I talked to you guys about for that Android 17, that Super 17. But what makes it even better is if it's underneath your Super 17, that's a 6 or an 8 cost. The card on top, being the big 8 drop, gains critical. So that means what you really want to do whenever the game's working is during your opponent's turn, you want to summon this card. Then you want to pay that 1 energy and switch the card to active mode and put this card that you'd comboed earlier underneath it. That interaction now gives your big 30k critical. This is very, very relevant because Kidku currently is doing so many effects, so much board wiping, so many different things that now if I'm also swinging with a 30k crit and then mid-combat, if I have another android now during my turn, I can use that once per battle again. I effectively have dual attack crit. That is a completely different game than what the deck used to have because we didn't have a lot of crit. We purposely took out some of the cards. There's a Tien, I believe it is, where you can actually give your skill list battle cards crit. We used to run these kind of effects. Well, we stopped. And this deck kind of brought some back. Now, if you want to keep playing this deck, I would argue you probably go back to that card, right? Whatever it was called. I think it is in fact a Tien. For like 1 energy, you get to summon a 30k, and then you can combo this card. It gives a card crit. Well, if you notice, that was kind of the theme of the deck. I wanted to really focus on critical. We have a Brawly as a 1 of, we have Haru Haru as a 2 of, and then the rest of the stuff was just like the minimal amount of meat and potatoes. That way I didn't lose from trying to be just like a crit deck. Because you can't just crit, right? You still have to defend, you still have to do stuff. One of the cards I've already talked to you about in every video you've ever seen of mine probably is Haru Haru. Haru Haru right now is so good, you can mainboard it. Because I would argue there's only 3 decks. Those 3 decks are green, yellow, and Vegeta. and the reason why I don't name, green or yellow, they're all kind of the same thing, right? You play Brawly, they're playing almost the same cards as Shenron, Shadow Dragons, all the different stuff that's yellow, they're kind of the same. When it comes to green, whether they're playing Cell, Goku, they're all a lot of the same cards and a lot of the same interactions. But the part that's really great is that Haru Haru will gain you back an extra energy, and you'll have an offensive power that is critical. And so, this is the card that you always know to side out if they're playing red, which is nice because against red, we always bring in a Flight of the Grand Eagle, and we bring in like a Brawly Crown. I don't know what else to bring in. Red Vegeta matchup feels very easy. The other part to talk about, and one of the things I do like about the deck going forward, is Baby Parasite Unison has kind of been leveled up a bit. The reason is that on turn 2, most decks right now aren't doing a lot. They're just building up a board. They set up a lot of combos. There's not a lot of aggression. What they like to do is build one body, and that one body matters. So Baby coming down when you go second, just upticking, stealing a battle card to put it underneath, and going to 4 markers and setting up future draw, you can get really far ahead. I did that against one of the red players where he went first, and then he used his turn to summon the Z battle card. I can't think of what it's called. I think it's a Vegeta. Might be a Gogeta. But it is it's like a 6-drop that only costs 2. The big deal about it is it can wipe my entire board every turn because it just gives a card negative 20k. Well, he spent his whole turn playing that card. He had a combo card from his hand. He was really excited to do it. I just paid 3 energy and I killed it. Now, it didn't get to go under Baby, but now Baby had 4 markers. It drew a card. So if he wanted to spend his entire turn, next turn, attacking Baby just to kill it, fine. We don't mind. And effectively, I've time warped him twice, right? Because he's wasted an entire turn just to kill a Unison, whose only job was just to kill his opponent. Or kill a battle card. And those are kind of like the things that really mattered. The only thing that was really relevant also was there was a lot more of gotchas in this event. Not gotchas in like a bad way. There was no backups or any takebacks. But what there was opportunities where my opponent had to combo incorrectly to not get caught. So purposely, like on turn 2 with Kidku, you can gotcha your opponent. And by that, I mean you explosive dance them. It's the only deck, I think, in the format, because it uses waters. This card down here, take its own life. It can go down to 2 life, up to 4 life very easily, triggering explosive dance at a very, very early turn. Well, that means if you haven't been investing Z energy, you're done at that point. Especially because most of us on turn 2 have to swing with our leader first. We don't have the option, like even Kidku. I'm not looking to awaken until after I swung with my leader for that extra draw, because he's on the unawakened side, he draws. Why wouldn't I want that at 1 extra draw? Well, if your opponent's trying to get that extra draw or any other effect, explosive dance shuts them out. Well, when you're playing against decks like Vegeta, if I do that on my turn 2, and I've already awakened, so I have a board presence, and then I explosive dance them, if there's nothing else for them to do, effectively they just got time locked, right? Because their explosive dance isn't live. A lot of their effects aren't live. The same idea, because we do run explosive dance, I was still running one of these beautiful cards, Brawly Omen of Evolution. I used to run 2, if you guys remember my list back in the day. I loved it. Amazing card. I'm down to 1. I want to run 4. I just don't know what to do because we're trying to be too cute. Same thing with like King Vegeta's Imposing Presence. I don't think I casted it once, but it's a necessary evil, right? Other cards like Koi, don't think I ever casted it. Card still scares me, but I never had a chance to play it. Other cards that I thought were cute or clever were like Frieza Death Ball, because I thought black might become more popular, especially like the crit Gogeta decks, stuff like that, or Majin Vegeta. Never got to play against them, but so those can become like sideboard tricks. And just having Frieza's Death Ball against Majin Vegeta just makes the matchup so easy, because they like to swing with big 30Ks, and you can just be like, yeah, sure, one card, 25K. I'm pretty much out of any attack. And then if they, if you get the option, you also have this beautiful 17. And so you put all these cards together, you start to really see that Kidku now becomes this really good control deck. Which is sad, because like now the format's over, right? Like we had fun, we kind of solved it. We needed this card for that like final little bit of spice, and now Kidku dies, right? Like I don't imagine I'm playing this for Australia, but if I can, I would love to bring this back to try to defend my title one last time. But shout out to Legends, although he wasn't here. You definitely saw his old droid list I used as the base for this. So it was able to give me some good concepts for the ratios, because originally I wanted to make this like a 54 card deck, and I stood to his 50, 51 list or whatever I went with, just to keep it a little bit more simple. So I appreciate you guys, and it meant a lot. So felt good to win. So thanks again, and shout out to, I think his name was Romeo. I want to say it's Romeo. I apologize if I'm close and I messed it up. My final round opponent, it was just fun. We generally just had a good time, and it was just a really good event. So thank you guys. I enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in Dallas.